Hey guys, welcome back to the AJ Analysis channel and another Friday afternoon live stream where today we need to figure out the injury crisis which is occurring at Manchester United right now. Of course, since United last played, there's no Mason Mount, there's no Luke Shaw, there's a couple of problems starting to stack up. Of course, that performance last week against Spurs, which was interesting. I haven't spoken to you guys since then, so we can discuss that as well. But first of all, how is everybody? How is everybody doing? Am I coming through all right? Can you guys hear me fine in the stream? Let me know all of that in chat. Let me know what you guys are up to this weekend, what matches you're watching, some of the stuff you'd like to talk about, any questions you've got. Let me know a little bit of everything in chat, and then once we're all set up, we can get into things. So first of all, can everybody hear me all right? Am I coming through okay? Morning, Joel. Good to see your code name. Good to see everybody. Yeah, 7 injuries for the United team. A problem. A big problem. We are going to get into that, of course. We've got the tactics board here. We're going to discuss kind of some of the problems which United are going to need to overcome against Nottingham Forest this weekend. I've done a tactical preview this morning, but when I actually recorded that, Luke Shaw was still fit. So there's a problem there. Of course, Mason Mount injured as well. It kind of leaves United looking a little bit like this. Of course, we don't really know what the structure of the attack is going to be right now. It's a bit of a problem. We've got a few things we need to address. Of course, as always, I'll say it's not quite as bad as it looks. It never is in football. It's also never as good as it looks. But there is definitely plenty to discuss with this team because there's problems at United at the moment. Players like Harry Maguire, Scott McTominay still stuck at the club but out of favour with the manager. We're still not seeing any new signings coming in. Luke Shaw out injured for a bit of time, it seems. The latest report is that it might be a couple of months. The same for Mason Mount. Is Rasmus Højlund fit yet? What is the best thing to do with Anthony? There's a lot to discuss. So, early questions. Fernandez in or Dalot left back? We will discuss that. There is also a third alternative that United could go with as well. We'll cover that for sure. That's going to be a big part of this stream, talking about that left back position. I also want to talk about this Mason Mount hole in the team. Potentially a bit of discussion on Anthony, if you guys want it. Maybe what Rasmus Højlund could do if he's going to come into the team this weekend. Plus anything that you guys want to talk about. Hey Corey, mate, good to have you back in the stream. Hope you enjoy it. Best part of your week. Love that. Not the best given our squad holes is still more than hedgehog pillow. Yeah, there's problems in this United team. There is without doubt problems. But I think collectively between us we can get through it. We can figure it out. So, first of all, does anyone have any particular questions currently surrounding United which doesn't kind of resolve around Mason Mount or Luke Shaw? Does anyone have anything else they want to discuss? If not, we're going to get straight into it and talk about this left back problem. So let me know what you're thinking. Does anyone have any other questions regarding the squad? If you don't, that's fine. I've got plenty of stuff planned out for the left back position. Lisandro Martinez is the other player we will be covering. I think those are probably the three options. You either bring Alvaro Fernandez in at left back. Could you move Lisandro Martinez to left back? That's an idea we can explore. But of course, Dalot at left back is the other options. Casemiro looks so out of shape. Yeah, he was slow to start the season last year, to be fair. So hopefully, as the season goes on, he'll warm up and get better. Hey FP, mate. Yep, I'll catch up with you in a bit. I hope you're good. Good to see you again. Yeah, no worries, mate. I'll catch you in a little while. 400 million spent under Erik ten Hag. It's quite a lot of money. I think the big thing is people look at that and say Erik ten Hag's obviously been backed because they've spent 400 million. But if you actually look at how the money has been spent, it doesn't necessarily look the same way. Like Anthony, for example. People will say, I've seen several people saying it recently, we've got to question Ten Hag because he spent 100 million on Anthony. Last time I checked, he isn't actually responsible for negotiations. Like, if the football club was run better, players would be bought in earlier and at cheaper prices, which would mean you could sign extra players. That's actually how you truly back a manager. Backing a manager isn't just, here's a load of money, mate. Backing a manager is building the best structure around the manager for them to excel and succeed in, really. This club still needs a sporting director, someone who's really the head of transfers, not Erik ten Hag. Because at times I would question Erik ten Hag's talent ID. I don't think every player which he has signed has been optimal. I think there have been better players in those positions. So Erik Ten Hag has been backed financially, but not in terms of structure and good running of a football club. What questions we got on here? AJ, I think this is even worse than I thought because they are making mistakes with patterns they perfected last season. Yeah, hopefully, we've just got to hope it's down to a little bit of rust at the start of the season. I don't think Erik Ten Hag trusts that this squad is fully fit yet, especially the fact that United have played like 2 pre-season friendly games since the season started. I don't think he maybe trusts the team. Yeah, someone like Ralf Rangnick in charge of transfers, things could be very, very different right now. We all know the players that he wanted to bring to the club. Can Lisandro Martinez play Zinchenko's role for Arsenal? Quite possibly. We will definitely come on to that. That's something we will be discussing very shortly. That's what Arsenal want to do with him. Arsenal, it seems, didn't want to sign Zinchenko. They wanted Lisandro Martinez for that left-back position. Do I have any updates on the takeover? I don't, I'm afraid. I just see what you guys see on Twitter. Do you think the team plays really, really quick, more than usual? I mean, they are not calm like Brighton or City. Yeah, this team rushes the ball forward far too much, far too quickly. As a result, it leaves you open to transition because you're giving the ball away and leaving holes in your team. Can I talk a little bit of Elise? Seems everyone fond of him. I may not today, but perhaps I could cover it in a separate video at some point or in another stream. I just don't have anything prepared on him for today, but we could discuss that another time for sure. What do I think of Doku? Really dangerous player for Manchester City. Looking forward to seeing him in the Premier League. Is he going to come straight into the team? That's the question. That's kind of an exciting prospect. But yeah, he's a really good player. He is electric. He's terrifying when he gets the ball. His dribbling ability, his production rate in the final third. Such a dangerous player. United big weakness is we can't sell in any transfer window. Yeah, I feel like United started off the window quite positively. We saw some early business for once. We saw a few players outgoing, but it's just completely stalled and really stagnated. And at the moment, it's turning into a bad window. It could finish strong and the club might be all right, but at the moment, I would say it's not looking a great window. Casemiro is similar like Rooney, often gets some games in their belt to become world-class, roughly October. Yeah, I mean, that's what we saw last year. Casemiro took ages to break even into the starting 11. But then when he did, he was quality. So if you were to sell Antony and Sancho, who would you buy for the right wing position? Well, initially, I think that's a big if. Apologies if you can hear dogs barking. Obviously, that's a big if. If United sell Antony and Sancho, I think it's unlikely. The player that I wanted before United signed Antony was Rafinha, who's now at Barcelona. That's who I wanted. We don't have any ball retention in our midfield is a poor choice from Ten Hag. That's the sort of thing where I feel like talent identification and profile identification needs to be perhaps run by someone else at the club. I still think Mason Mount will develop and become something close to it. I think he will do well there, but someone else is needed. I was speaking about Locatelli in my video, was it yesterday? I think it was. Also someone like Sofian Amrabat. United need at least one more midfielder. Someone like Gravenberch as well has been linked. Not as convinced on that because he plays a little bit higher up the pitch, but we'll see. Cherki is who I would sign. Cherki is an incredible young player. He's one of my favourite young players on the planet. Lyon are my favourite side in France. And he's a big part of that. I love watching him. A little bit lazy off the ball, but yeah, he's a really good player. Should we get into this left-back problem? Because, as we know, Luke Shaw, hang on. Should I just wait for the barking to die down a bit? Can you guys hear that? I assume you guys can hear that. I do apologise. AJ, would you discuss how Antony should improve? I think overall he's just too passive. And probably the price tag really got to his head. Yeah, we will discuss Antony towards the end of stream. That is something I want to talk about if enough people want to. Because I'd be tempted by starting someone like Fernandez in this game. Someone saying they wouldn't sell Sancho. In fact, if I was Erik Ten Hag, I'd build the system around him. What would your guys' front line be this weekend? Would you go Rashford, Sancho, Antony like I have here? Would you play Garnacho on the left wing, Rashford up front? Would you bring Facundo Pellistri on the right-hand side? Let me know what you think. I like the idea of throwing the young Uruguayan in for a game to kind of maybe give Antony that bit of a wake-up call. I will say at the same time, I don't think Antony's been anywhere near as bad as what people have made out. He's not been great, but I wouldn't say he's been the problem at the football club so far this season. How much do you think Maxence Kakare will be sold for if he's sold? I don't think he's likely to leave this window. What's he worth in this market? 30 to 40 million, probably, maybe a little bit more because he is really good. I believe Martial was fit, actually. Yeah, that's a good point. Let me add Martial in on my screen over here. Martial was fit. He played a few minutes against Spurs, didn't he, last week? And I also believe he played against Burnley in a game behind closed doors during the week. So it looks like Martial is close to being fit. Maybe able to start this game. If he is able to start this game, would you? Let me know what you think. But let's get on to this left-back issue. Because, like I said, Luke Shaw is out of the team. And actually, no. Let's not start with the left-back issue. Should we start with Christian Eriksen first in midfield? Is that a better place to start, do you reckon? Because Mason Mount is out. Mason Mount is out injured for, I believe it's rumoured, 4 to 6 weeks. Which, decent bit of time, that. You need to solve a problem. Now, first of all, I feel sorry for Mount. Like I said in my video the other day, I think he's actually had an okay start against Spurs last week, for example. I think he was United's best midfielder in that first half. Eriksen will bring something different, though. And Eriksen's natural profile will go some way to helping fix some of the problems which we've seen in the opening weeks of the season. The first big problem which Eriksen will kind of go towards fixing is that he's a player which wants to touch the football. We see players like Mason Mount, for example. They like to make lots of movements off the ball in areas like this, and they push high up the pitch, they get in channels, which is all well and good. Someone like Eriksen, though, kind of has this natural gravity of wanting to come towards the ball. That could help United, because as we were talking about last week, the gaps at times are just far too big in here. Having someone like Christian Eriksen should kind of help coming into these positions here. He naturally wants to get on the ball, be involved, have a lot of touches. So I think naturally that could be a big help. A £5 super chat from Corey. Thank you very much, Corey. If you could spam everybody, spam either green love hearts or clapping emojis. Spam them in the chat for Corey. He said, my cousin plays for Lens. Is it Lens or Lons? I never know how to say it. As a defender. And he says Cherki is one of the most technical players he's played against. And he's played Neymar and Messi. Well, that's a pretty decent compliment, that is. Thank you very, very much for the donation. Yeah, Cherki is quality. Cherki could be really special. If he gets a bit of luck with injuries in his career and, you know, knuckles down and works hard, I still think he needs to improve a little bit off the ball. But yeah, technically on the ball, he's phenomenal. His ability in tight spaces to make something out of literally nothing is scary. Like his what's the word for it? His quick feet in tight spaces. Lons. You hadn't missed too much yet, mate. We've just kind of been warming up, starting the stream. We only started about 14 minutes ago. Okay, so we're in disagreement on how to pronounce it, but that's fair enough. Thank you very much for the donation, my friend. Really do appreciate that. If everyone else could say thank you to him in the chat as well, that would be greatly appreciated. I'm good, thank you, mate. How are you? I hope you're well. Let's get some more love hearts actually going in chat for that donation. Let's get some love hearts in there. Love hearts in the chat, please, people, and then we'll continue. Oh, we're going to need some more love hearts. We're going to need some more love hearts because guess who is back? It is Ali with the $9.99 US. Thank you very much, my friend. I hope you're well. Hope you're having a good day. Or good morning, actually. It's very early in the day for you. Good morning, AJ, and this awesome community. Hope all well. Do you think Maidbury will feature tomorrow? I think he'll probably be in the squad, yeah. Probably on the bench. I think if he isn't, that's a bit of a indication of where Ten Hag would rate him at. So hopefully he's in there. Ali also said, do you think the team's still burned out from last season? Liverpool had the same issues last season where they struggled from the season before. Yeah, I think it's got to play into it. You've got to consider also that at the end of last season, players then went off for international games, things like that. Casemiro went and played in some sort of international football. The English players, of course, were playing European qualifiers. So yeah, definitely. Again, thank you very, very much for the donation. I really do appreciate it as always. Again, get the love hearts in chat, my people, because Ali and Corey, both absolute legends for those donations. I really do appreciate it. Thank you very much. I hope you're both well and having a good day. Someone saying, in my opinion, we played our best games last season with some of our best players injured. Who would you include in that, just out of interest? AJ, thoughts on the 3-0 loss to Freaking Burnley behind closed doors. I'm very, very worried. The rumour that I've heard is that United took a 15-man squad to that game, and 7 of them had never played for the first team before. So that leaves us with 8 first-team players, and I believe that included Martial, Donny van de Beek, Hannibal Mejbri, Scott McTominay. So as far as I'm aware, from what I've been told, it wasn't the first team. So I don't think we can look into it too much. Barcelona game, we had a lot of players injured last season and played well. Very true. I'm trying to remember who started that game. But yeah, that was a really good performance. Could I see us playing a back 3 and using wing backs? I could see Casemiro drop between the centre backs in build-up. Yeah, I wouldn't like us to start with a back 3, but I think Casemiro should drop deeper at times, absolutely. What were we talking about, though, before those brilliant donations? Again, thank you very much to you two. I really do appreciate it. What were we... Eriksen, that's what we were talking about. So, yeah, I think Eriksen actually kind of naturally addresses some of the problem which Mason Mount has been having, because he will drop towards the ball. We saw this last season all the time. Eriksen dropping into these positions here on the left-hand side, looking to get on the ball and be involved. Now, again, at times, Eriksen is a bit too direct, looking to play forward a bit too quickly, a bit too often. Hopefully, again, like everyone in this darn team, slow down. Take your time on the ball. Take touches on the ball. Control the tempo. That is what Eriksen will need to do in a game like this. I think United will be helped, though, I hope, in this game by the fact that I don't think Forest are going to be particularly aggressive and assertive and pressing particularly high up the pitch. So I think United aren't actually going to have too many gaps to hit in behind the defence, which at times might actually help the United players, because if that quick forward option isn't on, hopefully they keep the ball. Someone's saying McTominay played well before Casemiro's first game. Very true, McTominay had a good start to last season. Eriksen is better when Rashford plays left wing, not as a 9. Yeah, I think I'd love to see Rashford on the left wing this weekend. Yeah, Shaw is injured. We're going to come on to that in a second. The other good thing, right, about Christian Eriksen is if Forest are going to set up really deep, he does just bring a natural creativity. Now, we know that Mason Mount does that as well, but I would argue Christian Eriksen brings it a little bit more. I think Mason Mount at times is a bit more suited to transitions. He can break a team down still, but I think Eriksen's probably better at it. So maybe from these positions here, Eriksen could bring a threat in the final third, which will be needed. Forest, like I said in my preview this morning, will be compact. They'll be difficult to break down. There's going to be few gaps in there. You're going to have to work the ball about, be patient, but then find a killer pass. Eriksen is someone which will help with that as well. So absolutely. I think what Eriksen also brings, because he likes to drop deep, but he also likes to push forward, and he's also creative and can also keep the ball, is there is that natural rotation which we saw all last season between Shaw, Eriksen and Rashford. Of course, it won't be Shaw in this game, out injured, but we know that Eriksen can sometimes play here. We know at times that he will drop into these areas, but he can also push forward. I think that will be handy. The question we need to answer is, who comes in for Luke Shaw? I think Eriksen, I think this game will suit him. I think in midfield, against a team which probably wants to sit off, although it may not be the case, I think Eriksen will play well. The problem is, what left back are we going to see down this side? Because what I was talking about in my preview this morning was trying to get Marcus Rashford a bit of freedom from his left-hand side, where at times he's wide, at times he's coming inside. I think we need to see that. So the question is, who do we play in this left-back position? And I'm going to go through a few different solutions and possibilities in 1 second. First of all, I just quickly want to read through some of these things in chat, because you guys are sending absolutely loads of messages, which as always is greatly, greatly appreciated. I'll try to reply to as many of these as possible. If I don't reply to yours, I apologise. It's difficult to read every message. If you want to guarantee that I will see your message, you can use a super chat that guarantees that I see what you say, and therefore I can reply to your message. Any money which is donated will be used either for a new camera or a new microphone. So yeah, if you want to use a super chat, it guarantees that I see it. But of course, you don't have to if you don't want to. Anyway, let's read through some of these comments, because we've got quite a lot. Where were we? Do you think Eric will go for Alvaro Fernandez for the Forest game? And if he does, do you think he'll do well? We'll come on to that in just a minute. I'll talk about that. AJ, in possession, if the 3-2-4-1 doesn't work, do you think a 2-2-4-2 would be a good alternative? Or 3-2-4-2 with Onana playing high? Let me just try and picture those in my head. The 2-2-4-2. Yes. Definitely a good alternative. Yep. Anthony, off please. He is too wasteful. We'll do a poll on that a bit later on, I think. We will discuss Antony and we'll figure out who we think should play there. Do you think Bruno on 8 and Hannibal on 10 could work? I think it could, but I just think Ten Hag is most likely to go with Christian Eriksen. I think after a poor start to the season, I think he'll want a bit of experience in the team. Eriksen is used to playing this role. I think he'll play. So we've got a few opinions here. We've got Dalot, we've got Fernandez, Dalot, Fernandez. I am generally very optimistic, but now I am worried because we have 8 injured players. I know it's because of that satanic third kit launch. Who knows, maybe it is something to do with that. Yeah, it is a problem though, the amount of injuries. It's something which, like I said, we now have to figure out. Hopefully Rasmus Højlund is back, or do you class it as back from injury and available for the first team. Hopefully we see that. Alvaro will get bullied. Interesting take. It is a slight concern I have as well. What are your thoughts on Charlie McNeil? He's one of my favourite young players, just a pure natural striker. The last loan was so bad for him because they played him mostly on the wing. I'll be honest, my knowledge on Charlie McNeil isn't actually that extensive. I don't know too much about him. Maybe you could let me know. I think if Ten Hag really rated him, I think we probably would have seen him given a chance by now. But I might be wrong. I don't think Forest will press aggressively. Should be good to go for Fernandez and Dalot on the right. That's obviously the other alternative as well, something we need to consider. Who do you want at right back? Wan-Bissaka or Dalot, or is there another option as well? We need 2 players in before the window shuts. I completely agree. At least 1 midfielder. Maybe a centre-back, maybe a backup striker, maybe another midfielder. So, let's look at a few potential solutions. Because, like I've said, Luke Shaw is out. And the first solution, let me just find my notes here, 1 second. Where have I've written it down somewhere. So, the first solution, and the first potential solution, is Alvaro Fernandez. A good young player, recently linked with a loan move, and potentially even a permanent move away from the club. So, this might be, if he was to play, his last opportunity to prove that he belongs at Manchester United. What would he bring if he was to play? He would bring good technical quality. I spoke about him the other week in a separate video, kind of, what's the word? Designated on Alvaro Fernandez. And one thing he will bring is press resistance and technical ability in deep areas. Like I've said already, I think it's unlikely that Forest press particularly high. I don't think it will happen. But if they do, and if they were to, Fernandez is the sort of player which can deal with that. He is very technical. He is very good on the ball in these areas. He's also good at carrying the ball forward through the pitch as well, which could be useful for United. The problem is, does it happen in this game? Because, again, when teams press high, if you have someone who can carry the ball forward and kind of beat players, it's really effective. We've seen both Spurs and Wolves do it to United in the opening weeks of the season. Fernandez is the sort of player which can take the ball here and carry it past players and genuinely make up a lot of ground in the middle of the park, move the ball forward and progress the ball quite well. I think in another game that could be quite effective. I'm just not sure we're going to see Fernandez kind of being put in that sort of situation in this game. But that shouldn't matter too much, because the important thing for Fernandez in this game is that I think he's capable of every single rotation which Ten Hag wants from his fullbacks. So one of those rotations, of course, is at times to drop into a back 3. I think Fernandez is very capable of doing that. We saw him doing it in pre-season. I think he knows the role. He has a good understanding of angles most of the time. Of course, this is a step up playing in the Premier League against genuinely very good players, but I think he is capable of playing in this position. We also know that, say, when someone like Christian Eriksen, for example, who we know likes to drop deep into these areas, we also know that Fernandez is happy to come into this sort of position here. We know that he's happy to come into these areas. He's very good at inverting. Again, very technical. There was one game in pre-season which game was it? There was a game he played in pre-season where he was practically centre mid the whole game. I can't remember who. Was that the Wrexham game? Or was it a different one? Can't remember. It might have been a different one. But anyway, one of the games, he was constantly coming into these positions, and that's a good sign. That is something which Ten Hag asks of his fullbacks at times, so we definitely could see that. But also, importantly, he is capable of getting round and kind of getting forward into these advanced areas. I believe last season, when out on loan, he was often used as a wing-back, which means, of course, you naturally push forward a lot more. It might have been the Lyon game as well that he played midfield. I can't remember which one it was, but there definitely was one. Yeah, but like I said, he also suits this rotation of going forward as well. So let's say when United rotate like this, and we're going to have Lisandro Martinez, Rafael Varane, and let's say Wan-Bissaka at right back. Of course, it might be Dalot, it might be Lindelof even. But let's say United are in this structure, Rashford's come inside. Fernandez is capable of getting forward into the final third. Now, truthfully, I don't know that he has the kind of top range creativity which could maybe break this Forest defence down. I'm not sure he possesses that. But I do think in terms of, if we're talking about a footballer as a profile, I think positionally and tactically, he does have the ability to play a few different roles, which could be useful in this game. We saw for Arsenal 2 weekends ago that the key for them to beating Forest was moments of brilliance, yes, but also a lot of rotations. Fernandez is the sort of player which could suit that. He's also a decent passer as well, whether it's from this position, this position, this position, he is decent. I do just fear if it was, let's say, in a certain game state like this, where Fernandez is next to Casemiro, I do just fear that is he are these two the best passers when you're trying to break a team down? That would be probably one of my concerns. He is a good passer of the ball. He can move the ball forward. But when you're playing a stubborn defence, is he going to have that bit of quality you need? I know when we talk about players kind of breaking through from the academy and coming into the first team, we want to talk about everything good that they can do. Of course, they're still really young though, and they're still limited at that moment in time in terms of actually how good they are. I'm not sure if Alvaro Fernandez brings the true quality you want on the ball. I'm also not sure if he's a high volume player in these areas. We haven't really seen him do that yet in his career, but not necessarily his fault, so maybe he could do it. My other concern though would be transitionally. Is he going to be good enough on the counter press up against someone like Brennan Johnson? Whether it's squeezing high and engaging like this, or dropping into a left back position and trying to deal with him, or when Serge Aurier's flying around the outside, is Fernandez really up to doing it? That would be my concern. Let me know what you think in the chat though. Like I said, we'll do a poll a bit later on to decide actually who we're going to go for at left back. But let me know what you think. We've got a few comments in here. Just looking for comments on Fernandez. I think it's Leon Fernandez, school Leon frontline like he is Prime Marcelo. Yes, I do plan on making a video on Lacey at some point. I just need to watch way more of him before I can do it. But yeah, I do plan on it. Christy only one saying Dalot will probably play left back. I think it's probably most likely, but I still think there are other alternatives to that solution. Like I've said, Alvaro Fernandez is one. Do you guys think that could work or not? Do people think it could work or not particularly? Hannibal will bring in some much needed energy to this team. The last game we were so dead, the only one active the whole game was probably Anthony. Yeah, true. We need a competent press-resistant midfielder. Ryan Gravenberch or Amrabat relying on Scott is a joke. Some people saying we have to take the chance on Fernandez. That's fair enough. Like I said, I think there's pluses and negatives to it. The plus is, tactically, he has the profile to do, I think, the 3 or 4 jobs you want. It's just, I don't think it's a case of profile. It's just how good is he? Is he actually good enough? Because there's a reason Ten Hag wants him out on loan or maybe even sold. He obviously doesn't rate him that highly. Have I seen Dedic from Salzburg? I've seen him a couple of times, but again, not enough to comment and say how good he is. Do I think Kobe Mainu will be a regular starter when he recovers from injury? Yeah, I think so. Dalot as a left back just to give him enough minutes before facing Arsenal and Saka. That's actually a really good point from Ali there. We also need to consider that this is a long-term injury. This isn't just a case of, we're without Shaw for 1 week. What do we do for that 1 week? You do have to look ahead to the future. So that's actually a really good point about chances are whoever you play left back in this game, they probably face Saka as well. So that's an excellent point. Hi, just joined. I got the Dalot bit. Can he invert from the left? Won't that mess with the way Ten Hag wants to play? We're literally about to come on to that. So we'll come on to that in just a second. Can Wan-Bissaka play left back? I doubt it, mainly because if you play a right-footed player, not right-handed, a right-footed player on the left-hand side, it often involves them coming into the pitch. Not sure Wan-Bissaka excels there. Do you think our team really lacks 1 versus 1 players? Yeah, massively. Players which can just beat someone. And, oh yeah, sorry, I forgot to answer that question earlier. Yes, I do think Kobe Mainu will have a lot of football this season. Will he start games? I'm not sure, but he'll have a lot. Yeah, so Dalot is right-footed too, so he has the same problem of having to come into the pitch. I just think once in these areas, compared to Wan-Bissaka, I think he's just so much more technical. Better passer of the ball, better receiver of the ball. So I think he's more suited to coming inside than what Wan-Bissaka is. Speaking of that though, actually no. We're going to stay away from Dalot for 1 second. Because I have seen a solution online, and I want to get your thoughts on it. Now, I've realised to do this, we need to bring another player in, so let me just get that typed up. The other potential, before we go on to Dalot, is Lisandro Martinez. Now, you may have noticed I'm going through this in order of how much I want it. So Fernandez at left back is probably my least favourite option, then Lisandro Martinez, then Dalot. So what do people think of the experiment of Lisandro Martinez left back? I saw a lot of people talking about it on Twitter. We know that that's where Arsenal wanted to play him. So there's clearly a belief that he can play in that position. He's done it under Erik ten Hag before with Ajax, granted not on a regular basis and also not in the biggest games. What do we think of Lisandro Martinez here? Yeah, let's assume Lindelof would come in. Could be Maguire, but I think it's unlikely. So if Lisandro Martinez was to come into the team, or move in the team into a left-back position, what does he bring? Well, first of all, if Forest do choose to press, which again I think is a little bit unlikely, but if they do choose to press, you do lose Lisandro Martinez's ball-playing ability in the middle, which would be a concern, but you do gain it out wide. So maybe receiving these balls, he would be a very good receiver, very good first touch, very good technically, able to get the ball out of his feet and play good football from there. So that could be a solution. You know, he offers that press resistance on the ball. I do worry a little bit that you lose it in the middle, but I think he could do a good job from this position. We also know that from here, he's a really good passer of the football. Probably one of the best passers in this United team, I think most people would agree with. I still think at times he needs to be a little bit safer, not go for the extravagant pass first every time, but he's going to provide good passing from here. Let's say it's an occasion where Forest do squeeze a little bit higher up the pitch, like so, and maybe Sancho can get in behind, or maybe Rashford with some sort of curling run in here. Lisandro Martinez is the sort of player where, with the added time you get at fullback, he could play that ball over the top. That could work. We know he's a good passer. He would be a little bit restricted in terms of his angles of passing. Obviously, when you're in the middle of the pitch, you have much bigger angles you can hit. Whereas when you're out wide, half the pitch is taken away by the touchline. So you would restrict him a little bit, but still he'd be very good in these areas. He is capable of finding someone like Sancho in little holes like these, maybe stepping wide and then firing a pass in here. He's capable of doing that. He could also play the ball in here. He's capable of switching the play as well, which could be useful at times. So I think his passing would be good there. The other benefit of him is that he can play a few different rotations. Let's say, for example, we bring, where is he? Dalot in at right back, and we ask Dalot to play a little bit higher up the pitch. You push Dalot high like this. Anthony comes inside. We're going to see a shape which looks like this. Varane's going to play as our right-sided centre-back. Victor Lindelof becomes the middle back. Lisandro Martinez from left back tucks into the back three like this. It looks decent. It looks like quite a good shape. It's quite a foundation to build the ball with. We know that Lindelof is a good passer from these areas. Lisandro Martinez, of course, is as well. You've still got the support of Christian Eriksen in front. So that could certainly work. We also know that he has the rotation ability to move into this sort of position here. Let's say if United were to go to this shape, bring Dalot a little bit deeper. All of these things, which would most likely happen during the game. It's never one fixed shape. You always see rotations and use of different systems. This could work. We could see Lisandro Martinez tucking in from left back into this position here, where suddenly his passing angles come to life. We know that he can receive the ball under pressure and turn, which would be good. We know he can play the ball forward. Super progressive with his passing through the lines. Very adventurous. That could certainly work. So we could see that. What do you think? What do you think of Lisandro Martinez in this position? I think the other good thing would be he is naturally a high volume player. So because he normally plays at centre-back where you get more time on the ball, he's used to having a lot of touches most of the time. He's used to having a lot of the football. And of course, you would get that in midfield as well. So that could work for him. Like I said, he is a good passer. He's a wonderful passer and could move the ball forward. My one concern would be is that he didn't have, or he doesn't, sorry, have the rotation down the left-hand side. So something that we see Shaw doing is sometimes he'll be deep, but then he'll also occasionally make the run forward. And I think Alvaro Fernandez would do something similar. I'm not so sure that Lisandro Martinez really offers you the same thing. I think you get almost one less rotation. Because I don't think he's going to go up here. Does that leave Marcus Rashford a little bit isolated, potentially? Because Rashford's now suddenly stuck out wide, unless Christian Eriksen can get round. That's maybe a problem. Now, in terms of, if we're going back to positives, it probably improves the box defence of the team, because suddenly you've got 4 players which are decent in the air. Lindelof is better with his box defence in the centre of the pitch than what Lisandro Martinez is. There's less kind of worry about your height from a fullback position. That could work. My concern would probably be, being pulled into wide positions, but more so just the fact that you're breaking up your centre-back partnership. I think centre-back is a position more than anywhere else on the football pitch where partnerships and relationships with players around you are so important. It just makes me a little bit worried about moving him out of position. So what do we think of this kind of potential idea of a Lisandro Martinez experiment? What do we think of that? And I'll also answer a few different questions because I can see you guys going crazy in chat. AJ, have I seen the slow-mo celebration? That was class. I have indeed. I was watching it yesterday. I've seen it way too many times now, but yeah, it was good. Good shout. Lindelof and Varane are good defenders. Yeah, exactly. That back four does give you quite a nice defensive structure there. I thought you might go for Lisandro Martinez left back and Lindelof centre back. Could make sense. He is tenacious and provides good cover. I completely agree. Lindelof is pretty good with the ball. Yeah, Lisandro Martinez is still better. Fortunately, I think United are going to have most things in front of them this game rather than on the back of them, so that should suit Lindelof as well. Do you think Kobe Mainu suits beside Casemiro or as a backup? I think he can honestly do either. I think he's so good he can do both. Hang on, sorry, I'm just going to read through chat here. Hang on 1 second, I'm struggling to read through this. That might be what Erik ten Hag will do. He did the same at Ajax with Martinez in some games. Yeah, I believe the stat was that he played 12 games at left back for Ajax under Erik ten Hag. I might be wrong with that. That might be inaccurate. But yeah, he is capable of doing it. Ten Hag has trusted him to do it in the past. Shaw might be out for 2 months. Lord help me. Yeah, it's a problem. It could work as long as he doesn't go down the flank. Yeah, that is the biggest problem with this, I think. That he doesn't offer that rotation of going round the outside, certainly not effectively, and also breaking up the relationship with Rafael Varane. He'd be most likely to tuck into this position here, play alongside Casemiro, maybe bring a bit of assurance on the ball though. Who knows? We could see it. All-out attack, incoming, Garnacho at left back. After reading that, I need a drink. AJ, sorry to take you off the subject. No worries, my friend. But we conceded the most chances in the league in the past 2 games. Our midfield just keeps getting overrun. Yeah, it's a big old problem. It is. Something needs to change. Could I tell you exactly what it is? No, not particularly. I think it's a collection of different things. I genuinely still believe that the biggest thing is players just need to calm down and just slow down on the ball. Because like I said, right, United want to be expansive and attacking. So you get the ball, what happens is players push forward like this, you look to attack, create chances, move forward into the final third, you open yourself up. But if you then always play the risky pass, which means, let's say, 40% of the time or 30% of the time you're losing the ball, you're just leaving so many gaps for the opposition to attack. And I think that's the problem. I think that is the big problem. Someone saying I think Camavinga would be really good at left back. Camavinga's an incredible player. I have seen some people say Anthony at left back. Yeah, I think Codename was jokingly saying it earlier as well. I don't think it's going to happen. Eric always makes it work with youngsters. When you need them, they will be ready. Maybe. Maybe. Ten Hag might be sacked before Christmas. I don't think so. Personally, I have a few question marks over Ten Hag at the moment. I do think he's setting the team up wrong. And I'm not entirely happy with his recruitment over the 2 years in terms of profile, for example. But he's not. I don't think he's in trouble. I think he's going to be absolutely fine. Do I think he's got a couple of questions and problems to solve? Yeah, he does. But it was the same 12 months ago. United went on to get the top 3 position, win a cup, get to a couple of finals. I think he'll be fine. He'll be fine. Just give him a bit of time. Hay fever's starting to fight me again, everybody. I think Ten Hag has not always the final say. I think Mount was not even his choice. I honestly don't know. I don't really know what the transfer structure is. It just feels like there needs to be a director of football and someone who really takes charge of the recruitment sector of the club. It doesn't seem like that is present or in place, and that's hugely problematic. We've seen the same with Liverpool. When Klopp has had more kind of control of transfers, suddenly their business has gone and crashed. Their business managers might be good managers. They might recognise a good player and be able to put them into nice systems, but they are not talent identifiers. There's a reason you have scouts and head of recruitment and things like that. In my opinion, Ten Hag shouldn't be that. To be honest, if we signed Evans for a year, can we get Evra out of retirement for this season? He might be needed. Here's a rumour for you guys that I saw earlier. Manchester United are looking for a short-term loan move because of no fit left-backs at the club. Do you want to know the name I saw? Ashley Young. I can't even say that without laughing. Genuinely, I saw that earlier. What are your thoughts on that, ladies and gentlemen, and my dear friends? Just no. I respect that. We can't turn against Ten Hag. The board needs to take full responsibility on how awful our recruitment and transfer policies are. Yeah, spot on. Ten Hag, again, like I said, backing a manager isn't just giving them money, it's giving them a structure to work within. That's what Ten Hag is not getting. People aren't too happy about the Ashley Young news. I don't think it will happen if it means anything to you guys. No one want that bit of nostalgia of Ashley Young? Fair enough. Yeah, Ten Hag's interview soon. I will be keeping an eye on that if you guys could do the same and update me if he says anything interesting. Pocketed Mo Salah, to be fair. Exactly. Anyway, let's get away from Ashley Young and let's go to a different left-back position, which is this man here, Diogo Dalot. Now, what is the good thing about playing Diogo Dalot in this left-back position? Well, there's a few. One, it means you can keep the structure of the rest of your defence, which has been playing so far this season, intact. Lisandro Martinez plays where he's been playing, Varane does the same, Wan-Bissaka does the same. You don't have to kind of like rip up what's been happening and start again because you're just kind of bringing in a new replacement. What's the other good thing about Dalot in this position? He's genuinely experienced there. He played there against Forest last season and was heavily involved in one of my favourite goals of the season last year from a Manchester United point of view. I thought that move was brilliant. You might know which one I'm talking about. He played there a lot for AC Milan the other year. He would often bomb forward, overlap. He was kind of known for that Trivela cross into the box. Played really well. He's also a good passer. He is a good technician. Not Luke Shaw level, so it is still a loss, but he is good on the ball. He is comfortable. He is used to operating with these angles, and that for me is the important thing. I think being right-footed on the left-hand side, but also importantly, and this separates him from Wan-Bissaka, he's technical. I think he can naturally move into this position, and I actually think in terms of inverting from left-back into midfield, I actually think he has the the best understanding of receiving angles from an inverted left-back position. I said it against Wolves the other week that I think Luke Shaw was a little bit unsure at times when he was moving in here. Dalot, I think, has a much better understanding of timing, of movement, of when to do it. So that could absolutely be a positive. Now, again, importantly, it's not fixed. An Erik ten Hag structure is never going to be you play there and stay there, you play there and stay there, you play there and stay there. It's always going to be about rotations, movements into different positions. Dalot, again, is someone who could help with that. Do I think he could drop here as such into this sort of position like this? Possibly. It's perhaps not ideal, but I think he could do it, to be fair. But I think he would also be happy kind of playing in these wide areas here. Potentially it opens up a sort of option. If he gets the ball here and steps forward and kind of draws Brennan Johnson over, it does maybe open up potential to come inside onto his on his right foot, sorry. Did I say wrong instead of right? That's impressive. Cut inside onto his right foot, not his wrong foot, and play over the top. We could see that, although I'm not too keen on direct football. That is the sort of thing we could see from him in this sort of position. But in general, I think he could work quite nicely from here. Like I said, I think the important thing is that he can invert and create overloads in the centre of the park. Cue dogs barking. Apologies if you can hear that. I do apologise. What are the chances of Alanga scoring against us and they win the game? Yeah, everyone's read the script. It's going to happen. What else was I going to say? It also allows, not Mason Mount. Let me try this again. Rewind. Come back in. The other advantage of having Dalot inverting into this position is it allows Christian Eriksen to move a little bit further forward. Now, I feel sorry for Mason Mount in that aspect because this actually would have suited him more, having someone like Dalot here. But I think Eriksen, Dalot, Rashford, I think they could get rotations going down this side of the pitch. That sort of rotation there, where at times you've got Rashford wide, Dalot deep, Eriksen in the half space, but then Dalot's going to push forward, Eriksen drops deep to receive the ball, Rashford comes inside. That sort of rotation could work quite nicely. Now, probably the main concern would be actually in the final third, being right-footed on the left-hand side. He doesn't have a natural crossing angle, but having said that, there's not exactly the targets to aim for in the box anyway. So maybe it could actually work better being right-footed, to be fair. Again, kind of cutting back inside onto his right foot. And then maybe looking for that sort of runner. That could work. I think that would be a good option. Let me know what you think. What do you think? I also think it could improve United's box defence as well. I think he's better at dealing with the far post than what Luke Shaw is. He's better in the air. So, I think there's ways in which it could work. I think it probably would be my solution. I believe it is the solution that I would go with. But let me know what you think. Ten Hag says United's issue isn't in midfield. It was about the back and the front versus Spurs, not about the midfield. That is why we were open. Interesting. I haven't seen that quote. I think it is never as simple as kind of like the midfield's the problem or the front line's the problem or the defence. I think it's always a combination. Ten Hag just said we have the options to handle the left-back situation. I know that Ten Hag is having an interview right now because my views have instantly dropped as everyone's gone over to the United stand or gone to watch the interview. I will be bringing you what he says. Let me quickly find it then. Let me get it on my phone. 1 second. Anyway, thoughts. Dalot left back. What do we think of that? Let me just try and find... Well, I can't find the interview. Oh, he's also said something about Rasmus Højlund. Let's have a look. Not available this weekend. People talking about the back three system. It's important to remember that it isn't purely a back three. Like, it turns into back three in moments, and it happens, but it's not constant. For example, like I've said already, a Ten Hag system will always rotate. So at times it will be a back three like this. At times it will be that. But at times it will be a 2-3. We'll see two midfielders push higher. Excuse me. We'll see the two fullbacks either side of Casemiro. We'll see that, absolutely. There's times it could be a 2-4 with Eriksen deeper. you've got to remember, there's always going to be rotations. I just think the most likely kind of continual structure is the back three. I think in this particular game, I think we will see that the most. So that's what we've been looking at. But yeah, of course, it's always going to rotate and be different systems. Let me see if I can find some of what Ten Hag is saying. Like I've said, unfortunately, he has said Rasmus Højlund is not available. I love it. It opens new passing lanes for the team. Yeah, I think he does give something different. I'm still here just watching it on TV too, not going over to United stand. He's a knob. I didn't say that. Just put a little censor there, if someone can edit that. I think given that Ten Hag is trying to instill a new system, he might plug in a player that disrupts this the least. Licha makes the most sense then, I think. Okay, well, on that, because I like the idea of it, let's start a poll. Let me get this paper out of the way, hang on. We're going to go left back. You guys, I can't spell. I can't type. I can spell, I just can't type. Left back this weekend. Let's go for Fernandez as option 1. Let's go for Lisandro Martinez as number 2. And of course, let me remember to add him this time. Dalot as option number 3. Who do we fancy at left back? Can we get 50 votes on this poll? Like I said, I know the views have gone down a little bit. Actually, a lot. I can see it because of Ten Hag having his press conference. But I appreciate every single one of you which has stayed here because we're going to keep chilling. We're going to keep chatting. And maybe those other people will come back. Those unloyal people. Our current system is possession-based. We are not keeping possession. This is the problem. That's actually a really brief summary, but it's a good one. Good to see you, FP, mate. Hope you're good. AJ, I saw Chelsea given the green light, for Lukaku to go out on loan. Should we? No. I'd actually like Lisandro Martinez at left back. I'm just trying to... I've lost chat a bit a second again. Hang on. Look at that from RK. That's exactly what we want. We will stay here. Come watch Ten Hag later. AJ is cool. I'm not sure if I'm cool or not, but you can definitely watch that interview later. Let me just go through a couple of things he said anyway. Why not? So, Luke Shaw's injury. We can't do that in terms of putting a timescale. It's personal these days. They will be for some period absent, where Luke will be longer than Mount. But that's worrying. Yeah, welcome back, FP, mate. Good to see you. I hope you're well. He's also said Malacia will take a few weeks. We definitely have the solutions in our squad to cope with that at left back. We thought before the season about this scenario. It could happen. You hope to avoid it. But if it happens, you have to be ready for it. I would suggest that probably means Dalot. Apparently, we're interested in Ryan Bertrand. What year is it? If you see the numbers, you see Casemiro fully fit. I have no doubt they can do it. After 35 minutes against Spurs, he didn't do it anymore, and we were first across the rank of fitness. Anyone understand completely what that means? Ericsson had been playing left back with a tactical change, placed McTominay in centre mid. Sorry, yeah, is he saying that Casemiro was, after 35 minutes against Spurs, he didn't do it anymore? But what, I get that part, but what does this part mean? And we were first across the rank of fitness. So he's saying fitness isn't an issue, he was just bad after half an hour, is that what he's saying? I think that might be what he's saying. KM, I completely agree. I thought Mount adapted decently in the first half against Spurs, but fell off in the second half. Completely agree. I don't know if you watched my video on it the other day, but yep. Damn, Ryan Bertrand, we are in trouble. Do I see Donny making a surprise appearance? Would love to see him get a chance. He could well be in the matchday squad with someone like Mason Mount out. Definitely a chance. How are we getting on this poll? Can we get some more votes? We're on 39 at the moment. Like I said, I know there's less of you guys than normal because of Ten Hag stealing my views. Pesky Ten Hag. But those of you that are here, Get in the poll and let me know what you think. Dominating the poll. Really dominating it. With Fernandez in second, Lisandro Martinez in third. Poor old Licher. No one wants him at left back. AJ, would I swap Rashford for Kavica Kvaratskhelia? I wouldn't, because we've only seen one really good season of Kvaratskhelia so far. Maybe if we see another season, then after that you could argue it, but not right now. Because if you're comparing them, in the past 2 years, they've both had one very good season, and for both of them it was last season, so not at this moment in time. Don't take everything Ten Hag says in press conferences at face value. That's also really important. He praised Maguire, and then we tried to get rid of him, and he stripped the armband off him. He praised Ronaldo. We saw what happened there. He praised De Gea. Take it with a pinch of salt always. Left back, very crucial to get right, since we saw Aurier was an attacking source past 2 games. Yeah, I didn't think Aurier was great against Arsenal, but last weekend he was a real threat going forward. So, yeah, United need to get the balance right. What do we think then of this attack and setup? Let's move on to that. What do we make of the attack? Sancho, Anthony, Rashford is mine. Would we go for Garnacho on the left? Rashford up front? Would we bring Martial in up front? We now know we can't bring Rasmus Højlund in. Would you go for Kondo Palestri? These are kind of the options we've got. Would you move Sancho into a wider position? I think De Gea is writing the script because he is upset. It would actually explain a lot. It would explain a lot. He's angry, so he's just making sure we go down with him. I respect it. Is Montiel better than Aurier at right wing back? Yeah, I think he's a better footballer, but I'm just not. Did he only just sign, right? Like yesterday. So I don't think he'll come straight in. But yeah, I do think he is a better footballer. FP saying that that attack, is what I would go with. Although Palestri should be taken into serious consideration. So you're saying this front three? Should we? All right, I'm done with that Dalot poll. Everyone thinks Dalot, so Dalot we're going to put in at left back for this game, like this. Let's do a poll on Anthony versus Palestri. Start a poll, and let's go Anthony. I always nearly punch the mic when I try and reach over to start something like this, so I do apologise. Yeah, Dalot inverted, absolutely. Anthony or Palestri, have I spelt that right? Probably not, because I'm not very good at it. If Martial is fit, then he goes in at centre forward. Yeah, so like I said, I believe he obviously played a few minutes last weekend against Spurs, although I can't remember how long he played. But it is also believed and rumoured that he played in that midweek friendly against Burnley. How long for? No idea, because it was behind closed doors, but who knows? He could be a solution. If Anthony wants to be any good, he has to be benched. Do you think to kind of give him that rocket he needs to improve his performances? Again, just to add, I don't think Anthony's been horrible. I've seen worse performances this season from United players. I think Luke Shaw's been worse than Anthony. I think Casemiro's been worse than Anthony. I think Bruno Fernandez? No. But I think a few players have been. Rashford, for example, has been more anonymous. So I just think, if it was me, I would say, you're not quite playing well enough, so we're going to drop you. In the case of Casemiro, you can't, because there's no one else that you can replace him with, so he gets away with it a little bit. But Anthony, if you've got a different option, I would be tempted to go, you're not playing quite well enough, I need more from you, so you're going to be dropped this week. But he is certainly predictable. That's the big problem with Anthony. I think he does a lot off the ball. I think he's actually made some really good runs off the ball as well, actually, in the opening couple of weeks. And that is something which people haven't been speaking about. He's been getting into positions like this, where someone like Bruno Fernandez wins the ball. And up against a back four, we know we've got this little bit of extra space in here. He's made some really good runs into channels like this. And the passing from United so far this season has just been horrendous. So he hasn't got the ball. Perhaps if he had got the ball on a couple of those occasions, who knows, he might have a goal by now. Or have done more. But yeah, you still can't deny the fact he is so predictable at times. So, and yeah, he's also slipped in Rashford a few times, exactly. The problem is, against a back five particularly, can he go this way? Because against a back five, coming inside like this, you're just coming into another centre-back. it's not going to be the best solution for him because he can't then beat these players. For Rashford on the other side, I think it can work because Rashford up against Willy Bolly, I'd like to see it. Antony doesn't do it in the same way though. So I'm just not sure how useful Antony is in this game. A lot of people seem to be agreeing in the poll. 77% in fact agree in the poll, which is a lot. Mate, I saw a post that Ten Hag had a view for Onana to play CDM as United just signed a goalkeeper. Yeah, on that new goalkeeper, by the way, there's a couple that we're being linked with closely, like really heavily linked. I will get a video on them as and when I have the knowledge on them. It will take a bit of research, though. Would I sell Casemiro in the next summer for Saudi and bring Florentino Luis? Interesting question. I mean, personally, I probably would. I think I'll probably get criticised for saying it, but I would be tempted to. Out of interest, which of these players could you see going to Saudi in the next 12 to 14 months, for example? Eriksen to Saudi, that could be possible. I wonder if someone like Rafael Varane, of course, he's already been linked. So potentially Maguire is another option. Casemiro, maybe? You know, we know he's friends with, like, I don't know, Ronaldo, for example. Is Ronaldo going to put a word in? Benzema? Who knows? Let me just quickly reply to a message real quick. Also, by the way, guys, I should say there is a Just Giving page linked on my YouTube page at the moment. It's on a community post, or you can find it in my last couple of videos. Trying to raise money for Macmillan cancer support because it's affected my family in quite a close way. If someone could, or if anyone, sorry, has anything spare to donate, it would be greatly, greatly appreciated. But don't feel you have to, but it would be nice. FP just giving us some stats on Andre there. 121 touches, 105 passes completed. This guy is incredible. He's unbelievable on the ball. He is so good. I've seen a lot of people talking about his performance last night. I didn't actually see it. I didn't even realise they were playing. But yeah, I've heard a lot of talks that he was good. Start Antony, but he must be subbed at the 60th minute when their left back is tired, and bring Pellistri to take it on another level. That's actually a good shout, to be fair. Because perhaps if you start for Kundu from literally the start of the game, does he have that same problem as Garnacho, where he's not playing tired legs, so maybe struggles with the physicality? Whereas given the last half hour, maybe you see him come to life. That is actually a really good shout from Ali there. That is a good idea. Antony needs to study how Di Maria plays, similar without a right foot, but dare enough to go byline and cross either Rabona or Travella. Yeah, he never gets into these areas, does he? Or it's rare that he does. Oh, FP is always the stat god. You know it, Ali. Always. If you need a stat god, you go to FP. Every time. If Fabinho is worth 40 million, I'm assuming you're talking about Saudi, then Casemiro is worth 60 million. Would he be by next season? Who knows? Any potential of us playing a back three against Forest? We could maybe see... Ow, I just bit my tongue. How did I manage that? That's impressive. Anyway, we could maybe see in-game... Sorry, I'm just laughing. I managed to bite myself while talking. We could maybe see it in-game where Casemiro drops in between the two centre-backs like this. Dalot inverts next to Eriksen. Bruno pushes high. The right-back pushes high. Could we see that? Something like that, for example. It could work. It's essentially a back three, like, in a different way. But I don't think it will be a back three in the sense of starting with three centre-backs, unless it's Lindelof with Lisandro Martinez at left-back. Who is FP? Is that a channel? No. If you look in chat, you'll see FP0119. He's an absolute legend on this channel. He's always in here bringing us different stats and different updates on different players, different teams and stuff like that. He's an absolute legend. You'll see him in chat. He's always about, does Elanga start? He hasn't started yet for Forest in the competitive games, but I wouldn't be surprised if he does. If not, watch out for his impact off the bench. He came on against Arsenal, first game of the season, and absolutely toasted them. He toasted them. Could he do something similar to Wan-Bissaka? I reckon Wan-Bissaka would have his number, but we'll see. But maybe it's in the script that he comes back and hurts us, because it's always the case. The link up between our right wing and our 9 will be key this weekend. Yeah, that's why I would go with Sancho in this game. I think he's probably like just the best suited to just linking the play. I don't think, again, there's going to be tons of spaces in behind the defence, so I don't think you need that runner. But yeah, I would go with Sancho for his link play and hope that he can bring Rashford into the game, Antony. But there might be Garnacho that plays with Rashford up front. We'll have to wait and see. Would I go with a 4-4-2 out of possession in this game? Of course, something I was talking about during the week. It's a bit of a weird one when talking about Forest, I have to be honest, FP, because they don't particularly want to always play football from the back. They will be a team that quite a lot of the time is going to go nice and direct. They're going to hook the ball forward. From goal kicks, they'll often go quite long. Don't expect to see them playing out from the back. So it is difficult to talk about a defensive structure. It might come down more to who can win their duels, who wins those battles. That might be the bigger job from a defensive point of view. And more so, transitionally. They're going to look to get on the counter-attack. That's what Forest are going to look to do. As Chris said there, they've got runners. They've got real runners in that team. So it's difficult to say too much in terms of literally what structure you go with, just because I think United will have possession. Most of Forest's possession will be in duels, where United have got to match them. They've got to match them. If they don't, they'll find themselves in trouble. Scriptwriter's cooking a 1-0 Alanga dagger. Hopefully not. Hopefully not. Hopefully. Please no. Please no. My views have crashed on the channel the last couple of weeks since United have been terrible. I appreciate you guys though, which are always about. Absolute legends, a lot of you. Don't mind me, just reading through chat 1 second. Johnson, I can't speak today. Zach said my channel is so cool. I appreciate that, but I can't speak half the time. Johnson and Awoniyi, I always say his name wrong, are dangerous in transition. Yeah, Gibbs White is a decent little ball carrier as well. He probably won't offer the threat like in the channels as such, but kind of getting behind his front two on the counter-attack. He will be dangerous from there. Hold on, if we play Sancho, Rashford and Antony, we might have a little trouble press from the front. Rashford and Sancho have awful work rate. Antony is hard working, but too lightweight. Yeah, it would be a tad concerning, but I just don't like. It's kind of the lesser of two evils, I think, at the moment. I think this game, hopefully, will be more based on what United do on the ball rather than off the ball. So for this game, I would kind of go for the players which bring on the ball stuff, which for me is Rashford, Sancho, Antony as the front three. But yeah, there will be concerns there defensively for sure. Why many top players went from world beater for other clubs to fringe players in Red Devils shirt? Because I honestly don't know, because the club hasn't been very well run for over 10 years now. That's the main reason. Yeah, Rasmus would have been so handy in this game. Having that someone who's going to sniff about in the box. Because like I said in my preview this morning, Forest ain't a joke. They can defend. I don't know how many of you saw Arsenal on the opening weekend of the season. But Arsenal played Forest, and their first goal comes from Martinelli with a beautiful bit of skill and a little bit of luck to get through the defence. And then Nketiah with a good finish. But then we saw a worldie from Saka. So even Arsenal, who we all view as quite a good team, really struggled to break them down. United will not find it easy, I do not think. AJ, last season we saw a lot of our forwards keep shooting silly shots from outside the from outside the box. Do you think that would be the case this season? Sometimes I feel we are out of ideas. Antony is someone who does take low value shots far too often from outside the box. It's probably my one concern, to be fair, with Rashford on the left-hand side. He likes to shoot from distance. I think in general, the team just needs to be way more patient. Whether that's in the defensive third, playing the ball out from the back, whether that's the middle third, trying to take control and dictate the tempo, dominate the ball, or in the final third, trying to create something. Just be way more patient. Because like you said, some of our players just take shots when they run out of ideas. Antony, Casemiro, Bruno Fernandez, Rashford at times. Just cycle the ball about. Now, like I've said it several times, not everyone has to be like City, right? Just because they're good. But how often do you see City just firing shots? They don't do it that often. They do a few a game because they're a football team with humans in. Everyone does it. But United just seem to resort to it too often. Antony could be successful. Forest don't have the best defenders blocking fast dribblers. I hope you're right. I hope this could maybe be the game for him to kind of kick on a little bit. If Antony doesn't improve in the right wing position, he should be playing at left wing and Rashford in right wing like Mbappe, play compact and score goals. I don't actually agree with that like in entirety, but what I would like to see, and I've been saying this for ages now, even going back to last season, I don't get why United don't occasionally just swap the wingers for 10 minutes. It doesn't have to be a full 90-minute thing that you're doing. Just give them 10 minutes up against something different. Give the opposition something to think about. Why not? Right, Rashford's right-footed, and most of United's left wingers are right-footed. Antony is left-footed on this side. Why not, for like, just, it gets to the 30th minute, United have been a little bit stale. Just swap them for 10 minutes. Antony on the left-hand side, on his left foot, offers something a little bit different because he kind of goes on the outside rather than the inside. He's going to cross the ball. Rashford from this position offers something a little bit different with the style of run he's going to make. He goes towards the byline a little bit more. Why not just switch it up a little bit? I don't understand why teams don't do that more. Of course, you need your set structures and you have receiving patterns, like at Manchester City, for example. Grealish is on the left-hand side. Bernardo Silva often is on the right-hand side. You receive the ball in a certain position, in a certain angle, and that's important to retain possession. But why not just give it 10 minutes where you swap them around and let your wingers actually attack someone? Give the fullback something different to think about. I don't understand why teams don't do it more. Yeah, they did it in pre-season, like one or two games. Just do it a little bit more. I get, right, Antony isn't at his best on the left-hand side, and Rashford isn't at his best on the right-hand side. I don't think this is optimal for either of them. But I just mean, just to ask the question of the defenders, you can do it for 6 minutes if you want, 5 minutes. Just switch it up every now and then. I would understand if United's attack had been flawless in the first 2 weeks of the season. Yeah, you're ripping teams to shreds and it's like, we don't need to change it. But while it's not working, and in games where it goes a little bit slow, a little bit stale at times, or a little bit lacking in ideas, why not just swap it up? Switch it up, that's what I'm trying to say. Why not switch it up, move them? Just move them into different positions. Do I think Ahmad has a higher ceiling than Antony? I fear for Ahmad in the long term as a right winger, because he has a similar problem to Sancho in the sense that he doesn't have explosiveness to his game. Coming inside, really good. Going on the outside, being explosive, trying to beat players, not so much. So I do have a similar fear for him as what I do with Sancho. Because Man City wingers is more of a creator rather than forwards, Grealish and Silva or Foden, and they have Haaland as a focal point. Yeah, absolutely. I get why they do it largely. For 80 minutes, do that. I just think teams could get something from just switching up for 10 minutes because it's unpredictable. If I'm Nottingham Forest going into this game, I'm predicting Antony's going to play on the right-hand side. So whoever I play at left wing back, whoever it may be, chances are Antony's on the right-hand side, so every time he gets the ball, he's going to come inside. So if I show him outside, he's not going to be very effective. That's what I'm thinking all week as a fullback. Suddenly, if I face Marcus Rashford for 10 minutes, I'm doing something completely different. I just would like to see it more. I'm not asking for these two to swap places. I just mean for 5-6 minutes, just be something different. Doku is very much a winger that will take on his man. He'll be lethal for City. Absolutely. I'm a tad worried that Pep might coach it out of him a little bit. That like we might see less directness from him, like what we've seen with Jack Grealish. Jack Grealish always used to get the ball, take on his man. I'm worried we might see it coached out of Doku's game a little bit, but if that is the case, it is the case. Why did we never try Facundo Palestri as a false 9? He's got the technique. Be interesting to see. His movement is good in the final third. Be interesting to look into that. I don't think Anthony was needed last season. I think a striker was needed even before the season started. I think a right winger was needed. I'm not sure Anthony was needed. That's how I'll say it. I think a right winger was needed. I see parallels between Grealish and Anthony. Yeah, I think Grealish is just so much better at kind of keeping the ball, and he just seems Grealish at times, in terms of how he currently plays for City, feels like the more polished version of Anthony. He's also got a slightly bigger frame. He's a bigger player, so he can kind of ride the tackles a little bit more, which is really useful. I feel like he draws players in a bit more and can also go both ways. But I see the comparison. You could probably also make a similar comparison with Sancho and Grealish as well. Grealish just feels like the more experienced and more refined player. Do you guys think, by the way, I'm just kind of thinking out loud here, what we have at the moment when we go live is, because we're going live on a Friday, a lot of the time other people are streaming. For example, I know Statman Dave's streaming at about 3 o'clock. Are they streaming on United Stand? Probably. You got Ten Hag's interview. That seems to be the case on a lot of Fridays. Should we maybe stream on Thursdays in the future? Would that work with the regulars? Would that work for you guys if we stream on a Thursday from now on? Let me know what you think. Particularly, like I said, those guys which are here a lot. Yeah, I think Rasmus will get more out of Anthony for sure. Thursday is good. Remember, AJ analysis over United Stand. Absolutely. Thursday works. Okay, next week we're going to stream on Thursday. I believe that is also the day of the Champions League draw. Is that next Thursday? There you go, guys. We're all kind of sad at the moment around United. Next Friday we've got the Champions League draw. United haven't been involved in that for a while, so there we go. I think what I'll probably do is mix it up as the season goes on. At times I'll do it on Thursdays, at times I'll do it on Friday. I'll try and figure out when other bigger YouTubers and bigger streamers are going live, and also when Ten Hag is speaking, and try and avoid that. So some weeks it'll be a Thursday, some it'll be a Friday. Some week we'll do 2. If you guys have enough content ideas, I'd love to do more. Friday, people like Friday as well, because it's just before the weekend. Also, but just before the transfer window closes next Friday. Okay. What if I offer you guys something? How about next week we stream on Thursday and Friday? Whichever one does better, more views, we'll run with that from now on. I'd like to do 2 streams a week anyway. The problem is having enough content. So if you guys can think of ideas which we can talk about in stream, absolutely. Could also do a review on United's transfer window. I think I'll probably do that in a video, but we could definitely do that on stream as well to kind of go into the video. Yeah, so next week we'll stream Thursday and Friday. Shorter streams and do more. That's also a good option as well, actually. Okay, so that's the plan for next week. Maybe a watch along. The idea is there. I'm tempted. It's just, I do just love watching United though, without having to worry about. I'm worried about missing parts of the game by trying to stream to you guys. When is the next scouting video? I've got a sort of scouting video tomorrow morning. It's a little bit different. It's not. I'm not going to break down any players, but I'm going to tell you 5 players which I think you need to watch this season, which could potentially, in the next 24 months, be signed for key positions. So that will be out tomorrow morning, I believe. Sunday, we will then have Manchester United against Forest coverage. Monday, Newcastle versus Liverpool. Tuesday, I haven't got a video planned yet. So actually, what video would you like to see on Tuesday? Let me know some ideas of what you'd like me to talk about on Tuesday. Evan Ferguson, what a player. He's going to go for so much money one day. I love him. I think he's the best young striker in the world. In terms of, like, if you take out the big Haaland, Mbappe, Osimhen, Evan Ferguson is the one. So good. Common AJW, always. You know how we do on the channel here. Always W's. Also, by the way, I want to say a massive thank you to everyone which has donated so far to the Macmillan Cancer Support page, which I put up yesterday. We've raised over £100. Over £100 for charity is incredible in 24 hours. If you could donate, it would be greatly appreciated. But yeah, I mean, thank you guys so much. I saw UPTV's recent video on fitness coaches at United. Am I being stupid? Who's UPTV? UPTV, 1 second, let me just check. United People's TV, got you. I was being stupid, thank you very much. FPL weekly videos, maybe if enough people want it. Yeah, United People TV, apologies for being stupid there, I do know them. Yeah, apologies for that. Instant post-game analysis, first impression. Would you guys like a sort of a reaction video after a match? If I do a, still do an analysis video like I normally would, but do I also do kind of post-match thoughts in a quick little video, even if it's like a 5-minute video? Could do that maybe. People want to know about my FPL. Oh god. As long as I'm not angry. I'd calm down for a video. I would calm down before I done a video, don't worry. I'm not like some channels out there. I bring a measured approach. Measured approach. Whoa, okay, those capital letters are coming across a little bit aggressive, my friend. Yeah, which players would you like me to report on now? Who plays tomorrow at 5:30? Brighton, West Ham, and Gladbach versus Leverkusen. Okay, so maybe tomorrow I could... Wait, no, I am busy tomorrow. No, actually, that's my schedule. Tomorrow night... It's okay, you don't have to apologise. Tomorrow night, I will be doing a video on the United Forest game. So United Forest play at 3. I'll have a video out by like 7. So, yeah, look out for that. So tomorrow there won't be a post-game stream, but I might do that in the future. 4 weekend games. But this weekend, the video is going to be out tomorrow evening. So, like, within 2 to 3 hours of full time, bam, it's going to be analysed. Match of the week against top 5 leagues. Across top 5 leagues, sorry. I would love to do more coverage of different leagues. It just doesn't get the views. But I love talking about different leagues. I love the French league. I love the Portuguese league. In particular, those two. Serie A as well. Big fan of it. La Liga, I love to watch a bit of Real Madrid as well. Is there anything in particular you guys want to chat about today as well? Because I haven't got anything particularly to discuss. The main thing was about those tactical tweaks we could make. Benfica is nice to watch, yeah. There's so many good players there as well. The Portuguese league is stacked with talent. There might be a Benfica player which I mention in my video tomorrow. Yep, Chelsea play today against Luton. Let's have a score prediction. Let's have 3 lots of score predictions. First of all, Chelsea-Luton. Score prediction. I'm going to go... Drum roll, please. That's probably jarring, sorry. 2-0 Chelsea. Jackson to get me a goal for my FPL. Gusto assist. Maybe. Did anyone watch Chelsea against... Who did Chelsea play last week? West Ham. Did anyone watch that game? I thought it was actually quite impressive considering they lost 3-1. Yeah, Chris about Malo Gusto. So good. Such a good player. I've been going on about him to like people in my family and friends before I started this channel. I love Malo Gusto. He's an unbelievable player. Why did he have to go to Chelsea? He was the one. We should have gone for Malo Gusto. Have I seen Bar from Benfica? Yes. Great player. He's not on my list of players tomorrow morning in that video, but I will be doing a video on him at some point. Mate, good to see you. Hope you're well. I've been talking about him for months before. Yeah, I go on about Gusto probably too much. I've done several videos on him. I love him. He's unbelievably good at right back. I believe you messaged me during the week. That was you, wasn't it? It was good to see you, my friend. It was good to talk to you, my friend. I appreciate any messages from anyone. I maybe cannot always reply to everyone, but I appreciate any message. You had a video idea, actually. Let's throw it out into the chat and see what people think. I can't remember what it was, though. Would anyone like, this was E's idea the other day, would anyone like a video on a few potential right wing spots? Hey, Chad, hope you're good, mate. Great talking to you. Thanks for replying. Love your videos. Yeah, anytime, mate. Like I said, if anyone messages me, I always take my time. I definitely always read the message. I don't always get time to reply, but yeah. Really do appreciate that. Yeah, Malo Gusto, he's phenomenal. Pedro Gonçalves, I'm assuming you're talking about from Sporting. Yep, great player. That halfway line goal. I watch Sporting. They are my team, if you like, in Portugal. I watch them too much, probably. Anything on the new goalkeeper? No, I'm going to look into it. I don't know anything about him right now. So when I do get a video out for you guys, it will be a little bit brief compared to others, which I've done in the past. But I will look into him. So yeah, E had the idea of 3 to 5 right wing alternatives to Anthony. Would you guys like to see that? And if so, let me know in the chat. AJ should look at Ajax and who they bought. Bought some crazy players that the Premier League will buy next year. Let me know a couple of them. Let me know some. I'm enjoying this stream. It's not as like I said, it's not as populated as other streams because people have disappeared, but that's fine. But I'm enjoying just kind of chilling and chatting with you guys. Also, I'm unbelievably warm in this room right now. Not that anyone cares, but just thought I'd let you know. It is a close-knit community. It is. This is our little corner of the internet. And it's so, like, it's so calm. We have such a calm chat. Like, people can disagree over things. That's completely fine. But we never have beef. We never have toxicity. We've got Chad over here, him alone, he's worth 1,000 views realistically. So, yeah, we do have a great little corner of the internet here. Thoughts on Doku? Scary. That's probably the best way to sum it up. Really scary. Yeah, Chris, I'm going to have to look into a few of those players. I like this. People coming through with different players I need to be watching. Good stuff. Thoughts on Marcus Leonardo? I think that's how you say his name. I am going to cover that at some point. I need to kind of... What was I going to say? I need to do research into it. But yeah, I will cover him, especially if we see a bit of traction behind a move. Young striker from Brazil, for those of you that aren't aware. Looks like a good little nippy young player, versatile, can strike a ball with both feet, good off the ball movement. Yeah, I'm going to look into him. Once your channel gets millions of views and you become famous, you will forget us little people. I guarantee you I won't. Don't worry. I'm a man of my word, as I proved by taking my hat off the other week. I'm not doing it today because the hair's terrible. No, but honestly, I genuinely like. I think a lot of people say it. I think everyone will always go, nah, I appreciate everyone's support, blah, 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 blah. I genuinely mean it from the bottom of my heart. Because, like, I make money. Because of you guys, I can make a living from talking about football, or writing about football, or doing videos on football. Because of your support. So, even when a channel's massive, when we've got like 6 billion, 10 billion, more people than on the planet, I'll still remember you guys, don't you worry. Because like, was it FP, you said it earlier, this is a nice little close-knit community. And like I said, I love it. It's our little corner of the internet. It's nice and calm, it's not toxic. Speaking of Ajax, I would love to see what they will do after Overmars Van der Sar era. Well, it looks like they're doing alright if Chris is right on rating those signings. FP, if you're still here, can I ask you for a little stat real quick? Chris has said Branko van den Boomen, best long-range passers. Check his stats last year, at Toulouse. Can you get on that? If you can't, don't worry, you don't have to. Yeah, don't worry. I understand, by the way, that it is difficult to read like for bigger channels, bigger communities. It is hard to keep up with chat. Like at the moment, like our chat rate is about 9 messages per minute, and that's difficult to keep up with. It genuinely is. That's why I always say to you guys about super chats. If you want to guarantee that I see your message, if you make a donation, it guarantees that I see it, because it is really difficult to keep up. But I try to. I need to get better for replying to comments on videos as well. I was really good for it a couple of weeks ago. The past week I've slipped up a little bit because I've just been super busy. Super busy. But I'm going to make sure to get back on it because you guys deserve to be replied to. 99th percentile. Here you go. FP is back. 99th percentile for long passes completed. This is why we can always rely on FP. He always brings our stats when we ask for them. But also Chris, that looks like a good shout if he's in the 99th percentile for long passes completed. Chad said, been only watching regularly for a few months, but already becoming my favourite football analysis channel. Thank you very much. Thank you very much indeed. I really do appreciate that. Sane played for City, but do you think he could ever be a right-wing solution? It's not a bad shot. He's an incredible player. An incredible player. FP's got more stats for us. Just going back to the stats on Branko, is that how you say his name? Van den Boomen. 12 long passes per 90 completed. 19 attempted. Not bad. Have I seen the links to Marcus Leonardo? Yes, I have. Like I said, I need to do my research into him. I need to sort out a software so I can watch a load of his games. It's not the easiest football to watch always, Brazil. Can't always find the footage, but I'm working on it. And yeah, if we see a bit more traction to a move, I'll be on it. You know I will. Don't worry. Sane is not that good after City at Bayern. Sorry, not that good after City. At Bayern, he seems not that good. I'm struggling to talk today. I think it's a little bit harsh. I think at Bayern, they've had a bit of a mess over the past couple of seasons. I think he's still very good. AJ, your channel was introduced by Atlantis Football, but I sub on your channel, but not Atlantis. Poor Atlantis. He's a legend. Yeah, Coman would be a good option as well. Atlantis Football is a legend. You've got to put some respect on his name. I need to collab with him again soon, actually. I used to do editing for like all his videos as well at one point. Sane was insane at City. He was one of my favourite players, and I still think he offers a more direct approach on the right. I never quite understood why he left City. Was there like beef there? Was there something we didn't know about, or that you guys did and I didn't? I never remember seeing like why he left as such. But he's such a good player. I don't know why they let him go. Yeah, I have seen Simakan. Good player. Again, one that I would need to watch more if I want to do a video on it. I think there was an issue with Pep. I think that seems to be the case a lot. Some people just don't work out with Pep, yeah. Gaston Avila. Am I saying that right? Give me 1 second, I'll find his numbers. I can't get FP to do all the work. I got to pull my own weight. Hang on. He wanted more game time and had issues with Pep. Yeah, it makes sense. The squad is deep at City, or it was the other year. Oh, I can't find his stats on FBref report. Oh. That's disappointing. Let me go to SofaScore. It ripped my book. Gaston Villa, is that his name? Give me 1 second. Okay, it appears I am It appears I am useless at finding stats. This is why I don't normally have this job. So you found it on footy stats. I just punched the mic again. Guys, I'm having a long day today. What? Why do you guys subscribe? I barely function as a human half the time. Gaston Villa, was that his name? If you couldn't tell, I'm a little bit sleep deprived. Just give me 1 second though. Someone stop City, please. They want to sign Florian Wirtz. Yeah. If that happens, okay. My page isn't loading. I can't bring you the stats. I'm sorry, my page isn't loading. Maybe someone else might be able to do it to find some numbers. Yeah, I'm really out of form today. I think the bench would be generous. Give me some time in the reserves, the under 23s. Let me get back on form. I said I'm so sleep deprived today. And it's incredibly hot in this room, like I said. Yeah, sorry about the stats. The page just isn't loading for me right now, unfortunately. Friday evening, yeah, it's that sort of syndrome. It's 2:30 p.m. Friday afternoon. I just need the weekend. I need to put my feet up, watch Chelsea versus Luton, and all my troubles to go away. Luton win and I have a nice laugh. Would you rather we sign Ousmane Diamond or Antonio Silva next summer as our long-term right centre-back? Well, I will mention that tomorrow in a video. I think Ousmane Diamond could be incredible, but they're both top tier. If you do late night lives after 9 p.m, you will get lots of views. Do you reckon? 9 p.m. what time zone? Callum reckons I've been drinking too much, and that's why I'm off form. Callum's my brother, for those of you that don't know. I can confirm I'm not drunk. This was water. Water, I swear. No, actually is. PC just crashed again. That's a nightmare. 9 p.m. over in Bali. Yeah, like I said, it's 2:30 p.m. here at the moment in the UK. If you guys have suggestions as well for a better time zone which would work, I can't do it much earlier is the problem than what I currently stream at. Does anyone else have anything in particular I want to talk about though? Because I don't. If you guys just want to chill and chat for a bit, we can. I don't have anything particularly that I want to go through. I think we're quite limited on content this week. I've kind of been struggling for ideas, which again is why I always appreciate you guys giving me ideas. So you tend to watch after 7 to 8, so... True. So many people are bored of films and movies. Better to be in a chat. Yeah, fair. Yes, good point actually. Perfect Bruno replacement. Florian Wirtz. There you go. But City might have stolen him. Nah, I don't think they'll get him this summer. Which retired footballer do I enjoy the most? Who's not a former United player? Xabi Alonso is always up there. Always up there for me. I'll tell you what, guys. I'll tell you what we'll do before the stream ends. Because you guys are legends and you stayed loyal throughout this stream when everyone else dipped. Which I will never forgive them for. I'm kidding. But thanks to you guys who have stayed loyal. I'm going to give you a little sneak preview of the players that I will be talking about tomorrow. Let me see if I can find it. Can I preview the video? I'm not sure if I can do that even. Or if I can, I'm not sure how to do it because I'm not very talented. Give me 1 second here. I'm going to quickly show you the players that I want to talk about tomorrow. My screen seems frozen. It's probably just me. It's probably just me being that slow. Yeah, I'm just trying to find it off screen sort of thing. I enjoyed watching Zidane and before that Maradona. This is how old I am. Yeah, I've got to be honest. It's a little bit before my time. Yeah, Ten Hag's meant to be frozen for you guys, don't worry. I can now change it for you though. Oh god. Oh dear. Hang on. Let me find one where I'm... Is there any here where I can be... Is there anyone which makes me look good here? It's a long day. It's a long day. Why is it so stretched? Guys, I'm struggling. I'm really struggling. This stream is a mess. This is one of the players I'm going to mention tomorrow, right? He's a young right back. He's really very good at football. He plays for Girona. I'm going to mention him tomorrow in a video where I'm going to talk about 5 players United should keep an eye on. But yeah, he's really good. Really good. Time for some sleep. It is, but the problem is it's 2:40 p.m. Here's another one. This will be presented better in the video, I swear to you. Oh dear. Ivan Fresneda. Great young right back. Keep an eye out for him. Yeah, there is the weigh-in live as well, which may have affected views. But yeah, Fresneda, we're going to mention him tomorrow. Antonio Silva, we're going to mention him tomorrow, as always, because he's just so good. Usman Diamond, another one, always mention him because he is so good. But then also Federico Redondo, a young pivot midfielder, which a few of you guys have mentioned recently in chat. And I'm looking into him. He looks good, doesn't he? He looks really good. He looks like a Sergio Busquets regen. Can we say that or not? Is that too big a claim? But he looks really good. And these are all players which I think Ten Hag will be interested in. I will add Gaston Avilla as well. I'll have a look at him. He won't be in tomorrow's video because that video has already been recorded and edited and uploaded. I just got to literally press publish. But yeah, I'll tell you what, I'll write that name down right now. I do apologise for the absolute mess which I am on stream today. I appreciate you guys sticking by me though. Appreciate the support. I appreciate Corey and Ali for the donation as always, because you're absolute legends. Again, I appreciate also anyone which has donated on that Just Giving page to help raise money for Macmillan Cancer Support. Over 100 million, over 100 pounds. Not over 100 million. If we can do that, that'd be impressive. Over £100 raised for charity in 24 hours, which is super cool, super impressive. So I appreciate that. I think for today's stream, though, I think I need to wrap it up. I think you guys can see that I'm not quite on it right now. I think we've run out of stuff to talk about anyway. I think kind of United are on a bit stale in the transfer window. There isn't much happening, so it's kind of difficult to discuss that too much. I think also, you know, the injury news makes it difficult to talk about different experiments we could see with the team, just because it feels like team's a bit rigid at the moment. Injuries, of course, restricts that. So, yeah, I think for today we are going to wrap up the stream. So, as always, thank you guys for watching. I hope you have enjoyed it. Massive thank you to anyone which has clicked on the stream at any point. Massive thank you to anyone who has liked. Actually, just quickly like the stream before you leave and subscribe if you haven't already. But anyone who has done that, thank you very much. Anyone who's left a chat, thank you very much. Anyone who's donated, a big thank you to you. Thank you to all of you for being legends, for staying in the stream. And yeah, before I go, I'm going to add a list of loan players which I want to talk about. I'm going to talk about in the future what different players, what the expectations are under Ten Hag. We'll talk about a few different things. Let me know also some ideas for videos and also future streams. Reply to this video in the comment section. Let me know what days you'd like me to stream, what hours, in what time zone, all of that. Let me know. And before we leave, the man, the myth, the legend, Ali, with another super chat, $9.99. Thank you so much, my friend. Saying, AJ, I just want to take a moment just to show appreciation to all what you do and for this amazing community. Thank you so much. I never know what to say because I just appreciate it so much that I don't know how to put it into words. So again, a massive thank you, I guess is the best way to put it. Thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. You are an absolute legend every single stream. I really do appreciate it. Yeah, it's a common Ali W, the legend, always. He's just an absolute legend. But you all are. You're all absolute legends. So thank you very much for watching this stream. I hope you have enjoyed it. And as always, I'll see you guys in the next one. Before I go, quickly let me know some ideas of what I should be streaming next week. See you later.